Life happens. It's something that we can't control. It is something for small business owners, such as myself and the clients I work with, that can take us out of the game. It can destroy our businesses. Life happens. It is just a part of life and it's uncontrollable. So, as small, mid sized business owners, I feel it's really important to make sure we have processes and procedures and things planned and set for when life happens. And I want to talk about that today. So, first, what is life happening? This is birth of a child, death of a loved one, a marriage, a divorce, a move, a sickness, anything that mentally, spiritually, physically takes you out. It can also be a growing of another business. It can be a getting your executive MBA like I did. It can be something that is just a time suck that kind of is taking you out of what you normally do within your business. So every business is different, and how you structure it and what you put in place for life happening will depend on your business. One thing I love about what I do is even though I'm a business consultant, I don't have like a platform you buy or a program you go through. Everything is custom to you. And for life happens, it really needs to. So, how do you figure out what you need? I usually suggest starting with a day. I know, one day. If you were to take the day off and go someplace and unplug from all technology, what would you need to have in place? This might be pre-written auto responders that you quickly put on. It could be forwarding phone calls to someone that can be your backup. It can be talking to your team, setting up a calendar so the team knows when you're out. Like, what do you need? Then you go to a week. If you were to take a week off, and some of you probably right now are like, oh my gosh, there's no way I could do that. Yes, there is. And we can figure out a way to do it. All my clients have been able to get to the point where they've been able to take that time away. You can too. So if you're going to take a week off, what would you need to be in place to not fall behind? Now, I'm not talking about thriving, but what do you need to do to really keep that status quo? Then you go to a month. If something was to take you out for a month of your business, and I know you might say to me, Rachel, there's nothing that would ever do that. There's been twice in my 15 years of being an entrepreneur that I have been taken out for multiple months. So it happens. And you want to have things in place to help when that happens. Now, you probably won't thrive, but how can your business survive? Things like this are auto planning, having your pipeline full of people, having people that can jump in and help you if you need it, or just having communication written and set. And this can be simple communication as like, I had something in the family, I had this happen, blank. I need some time. I really appreciate your generosity and graciousness as I go through this. I found that when you pre-talk to people and you are open with them that something's going on, it goes a lot better than trying to tell them on the backside or trying to hide that something's going on and then find out. When they already are upset, it's hard. But if you can preset, people are human. We a lot of times have a lot of grace for each other when asked from it before something happens. So having something's preset that you can throw in is a good thing. Money. Having a cash reserve ready for when life happens. Now, you can start off having 1 month of your pay, then 2. I suggest trying to get up to a year if you can. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, there's no way. Putting aside a couple $100s every month or lowering your pay to like where you bare minimum and putting some away helps. I have a second account that just has that there. And there's been twice in my life I've used it. And having that cash reserve there gives such peace to be able to handle the situation. So when something happens, and for me, it was emotional, spiritual, that personal side. When that happens and you're taken out, knowing that you have that security blanket, for me, what it did is allowed me actually to just fully dive in and handle and go through what I was going through quicker. Because I didn't feel like I had to keep working. I didn't feel like I had to keep pushing ahead while I have this monster on my back and I'm frantic and I'm worried about money and I'm worried about this, I was able to say, you know what? I have my systems in place to be able to keep going forward the way that I need to go forward. And I also have this little soft spot that I can, I'll be okay. And having that allowed me to stay in that prosperous, let me stay in that positive mindset, which is what I needed to really get through what I was going through and to the other side and then be able to jump in stronger. Every single time I've had life happen to me, I have come back and stronger and more committed and new ideas and a better version of myself. So I feel like having those little ebbs and flows is normal and that you have to go into the valley sometimes before you can get to the mountaintop on the other side. Let me talk about that for a second. So there was this talk I was listening to a long time ago, and I wish I could credit it, but I can't. But what they were talking about is that we're at this mountain and we want to get to this mountain, like level up. But what people don't realize is you don't kind of jump from one mountaintop to the next. You have to go and usually into the valley and then you get back up. And the valley, those hard times in life, that is where we get stronger. Because in the valley is where the fruits and the vegetables and the water is. So you go into the valley, you get restocked, you can handle what you need to do, get through what you need to get through. Whatever leveling up of your person that you need to do, you do that. And then that's what allows you to get to the top of the next high mountain. So with having that space to be able to say, I'm just in this season of life and it's okay, it makes all the difference. So to kind of recap, you want to make sure you kind of financially kind of set, have a little bit of cushion there. You want to make sure that you have systems and processes and procedures. And you also want to look at what you're putting out there and your marketing that can continue without you. Because as you know, marketing takes a little bit. Putting things out there take a little bit. And so having things kind of keep going in the background a little bit for you, so when you're ready to jump in, you're not starting from zero, is so important. Now you can back off on stuff if you have no capacity and you don't want to turn things away, but there's things you can put in place. So things that I've done for people is things like waitlist, like creating that scarcity mindset, like there's only so many spots, join our waitlist instead of buy our product now or hire me now. So there's quick things. For one client in the WordPress, I built in a quick button that all he had to do was click this button and things went on his site, and it pretty much created that holding place for his prospects until he was ready to jump back in. I worked with a lot of podcasters and videographers, YouTube people, I don't know what to call us, and influencers, I guess, that they had content that they put up regularly. And so what I built in was the process for them to have content built out way ahead of time. 6 months ahead of time if I can. Now, I know that might be overwhelming. We start with a few weeks, 1 month, and go from there. A personal example for me on this just recently happened is, so I just recently went through a divorce. And it wasn't something that was expected. It wasn't something I knew was coming. It fully blindsided me. And it was my choice to have the divorce, but me making that choice wasn't something that I was expecting at all. And so when that happened, let me back up. Right. So for my birthday in March, I did two things. I said, I'm going to do something that challenges me and I'm going to stop doing something that hurts me. So I eat pretty well. I take really good care of myself. But I have two things that weren't. One was drinking and one was my coffee. And I wasn't going to give up my coffee. So I stopped drinking. And that's the thing I did that was good for my health. The thing that did that challenged me was this YouTube channel. And so I made a commitment that I would post one video a week for 3 years. That ends up to be a little bit over 150 videos. And so what I did to follow my own advice is I pre-recorded videos. When I felt inspired or a client asked me a question, I just recorded the video and I set them up as premieres. So I ended up having 2 months of videos that were set to be published, already on YouTube, already set as premieres, ready to go. And then I had videos that were saved on my computer that I had not got to set as premieres yet. Well, when my world kind of exploded in ways I didn't expect, and when I was going through this, I had four little kids, a 7, a 5, a 3, and a 1 year old. So going through this was not just me going through it was also the kids going through it as well. So when I was going through all of this, my YouTube videos kept publishing. And I already had the social media post written. So the social media posts that went along with the videos kept going. Now, I went longer than 2 months. Ended up going about 5 months that like I just stepped back. And I was so grateful. I had the money and I had the systems, I had everything going. I just didn't take any new clients for that time. I focused on myself, what I needed, listening to myself, being with myself, making sure the family was all set, all that. And when I came back, I looked at it and it was so amazing to have seen this kind of go, even though I didn't go the whole time, going for most of the time. And now what I've been doing is going back and filling in those gaps because my commitment to myself was that I was going to have a video per week. Now, I wouldn't suggest that to clients. I would tell them just jump in and start from where you are and forget those lost months. But me, I'm a little bit more hard on myself, and I like challenges, and so I am going back, and I'm actually going to get back on the quantity of videos I wanted, and I'm going to set them for the future and get that buffer built out. So what happens when life happens and that savings you build up is now gone? Those social media posts you wrote are now done. Those email newsletters you had said are now that ahead of time are now gone, and you have to rebuild that. I have seen clients get really upset and they've been like, man, I worked so hard to build that. I worked so hard to save it and now it's gone. And really, what I want them to know, and I tell them all the time, is be thankful. Be grateful that you had that. Be grateful that you had the foresight to be able to set these things up so that you could handle life happens. So instead of trying to go through it and having that monster on your back and you're trying to get things done, but you're trying to handle this and it takes forever because like you're not just handling what's going on in your world, be thankful that you're able to handle what's going on in your world and build it back up for the next time that happens. Because if you think that life is never going to happen to you, that is naive. It is, because that's what levels us up in life. That's what makes us better. That's what challenges us. That's what grows us. And the best thing you can ever do for yourself or your business is to put systems, procedures, and pre plan and pre content for when life happens.